Hey, what's up, tubers? It's Tony, and today I'm going to show you how to replace a bad power steering pulley on a 2006 Ford Explorer. The concept should be the same on just about any Ford Explorer that you drive out there today. There is your coil pack or core pack. Right below the radiator hose is your power steering pulley. It has three 10mm retaining screws that you need to remove. Now, you want to make sure the engine is completely cold before you start this job. And if you'll notice, with the cap on, you can squeeze this hose and you can hear that there's antifreeze in it. So what you're going to do is get yourself a catch can, go down below, and you're going to remove the radiator cap first. And then you're going to open the peacock and let a little bit of radiator fluid out. Remember to replenish the radiator fluid that you lost from the radiator when you open the peacock. There's my radiator peacock, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Once you open this up a little bit, go up top and remove the radiator cap for airflow. Then it will come out more faster. You only want to let a little bit of coolant out, and I'll show you just how much coolant to let out in a moment. So now as you look down into the radiator, gently squeeze this hose and see if any coolant is going in that direction. If there is no coolant, then you can go ahead and take a pair of pliers and remove this radiator hose clamp. Once I remove this radiator hose, I take a bungee cord and just tie the hose out of my way. Okay. The next two things you want to do is you want to disconnect this electrical connector. It's the clutch fan's electrical connector. Push down on that tab and then pull it up. And then you want to break loose this 10mm retaining screw. Take the clutch fan and rotate it to the passenger side of the motor. Now, I've already replaced the power steering pulley on this vehicle, but I forgot one important part that I want to put back. For those of you, once you remove the three 10mm retaining screws, you have to get yourself a pry bar. Harbor Freight guys, I have a fourth one somewhere around here. I've had them for about 10 years. They're very helpful. Once you remove the three retaining screws, just take a pry bar and wedge the old pulley off. Now, what I wanted to make clear to you guys, for those of you, look down right here. If you have this black piece sitting on the front of the pulley, you have to remove it or it's going to be very difficult to take this off. Okay? Just have to take a flat blade screwdriver or something and wedge this thing off. So with the belt still on the car, break loose your three 10mm retaining screws. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Okay, folks, with those three 10mm retaining screws removed, now you need to take your 3/8 ratchet. That's the belt tensioner right there. Put this in the head of the belt tensioner and crank the tensioner towards the passenger side of the vehicle. Then you can slide the belt off of this pulley right here. So notice what I did. I tried not to disturb the belt anywhere else. Okay, sometimes that's impossible to do, but just slide it off of this pulley. Now, FYI, for those of you that are not familiar with removing and installing belts on a vehicle, it can be a challenge. Before removing a belt off of any vehicle, make a video, snap a picture, whatever works for you, of how that belt is run through each and every pulley. Okay, so you can get it back on just as easily as you removed it. Now all you have to do is take your pry bar and wedge this off. This came off easily for me because I just put it on. And the only reason I am going back again is because I want to put this back on, okay? Just for my own peace of mind. So what you do is line up your power steering pump holes, and that's how you start. Once you get one bolt started, the rest will be in place already. You can do what you want. I always use a dab of blue Loctite on these screws. You don't have to do this. So if you had that little cover on there, you can put it back or don't put it back. I'll leave that up to you. I don't really think it matters. The next thing you want to do is reinstall your belt. When you reinstall the belt, put the belt over each and every pulley that it's supposed to go over. Make sure it's sitting correctly. And then make the idler pulley the last pulley that you slide the belt under to put it on. So again, folks, you want to slide the belt on all the pulleys that it's supposed to be on. Make sure that it's sitting on correctly. Relieve the tension off of the idler pulley, which is designed for your 3/8 ratchet to go in it. Push it towards the passenger side to relieve the tension off of the belt. Then you can slide the belt under this idler pulley last. Now it's time to tighten up these three 10mm bolts. So what I do next, guys, is I take another 3/8 ratchet, put it into the belt tensioner, and put tension on the ratchet, pushing it towards the air box. At the same time you do that, you're going to tighten up your bolts. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. You want to make sure that these bolts are tight. Go down on each bolt a little bit and then come around and really make sure it's tight. Apologies, guys. On this ratchet, pull towards the driver's side to put tension on the belt, and then, or tension on the pulley, and then tighten these a little bit at a time until you have tightened all of them fully. Another method for tightening those three bolts is you can stick a pry bar in there to keep the pulley from going anywhere. Apply pressure towards the alternator while tightening your bolts, but you want to make sure those three bolts are tight regardless of how you do it. Do a dummy check. Make sure the belt is sitting on all the pulleys everywhere it's supposed to be correctly before you start the vehicle up, or you will more than likely destroy the belt. See down there? The belt is not sitting on the pulley correctly. That's why you do a double check. Make sure you top off your coolant that you lost when you drained a little bit of coolant from the radiator down below. Make sure your overflow is filled to the correct level as well. Again, you want to make sure the peacock down below on the radiator is completely closed. Don't over tighten it or you'll break it or crack it. Make sure your coolant level is topped off in the radiator, topped off in the overflow. You can go ahead and put your cap back on and just do a dummy check before you start the vehicle up. Just so you can see, it's about how much coolant I let out so that radiator hose can be empty of coolant. Now all you need to do is just start the vehicle and go from there. Okay, guys, working order. And that's how you replace the power steering pump in your 2006 Ford Explorer. Keep in mind, guys, there's always a number of different ways of doing things. Catch you next time.